Hello and welcome to our lesson on the relationship, dependency, and integration between risk management and other project management areas. This segment will cover the relationship between risk management and other project management areas, Part 2. By effectively estimating and budgeting for risks and understanding the impact of cost overruns on risk management, project managers can enhance project cost control, minimize financial risks, and increase project success rates. Estimating and budgeting for risks ensures that financial resources are allocated appropriately to address potential uncertainties. This is done through contingency planning. Develop contingency reserves or allowances to account for identified risks and uncertainties in the project budget. Allocate additional funds to cover potential cost overruns or unforeseen expenses that may arise during project execution. Contingency reserves should be based on the level of risk exposure and the degree of uncertainty associated with project variables. Risk-based budgeting. Incorporate risk-related costs into the project budget by allocating funds specifically for risk response strategies or potential risk events. Ensure that risk-related expenses are accounted for in the project baseline budget and are monitored and managed throughout the project lifecycle. Scenario analysis. Conduct scenario analysis to assess the potential financial implications of different risk scenarios on project costs. Evaluate alternative scenarios and associated costs to inform decision-making and contingency planning efforts. Consider best case, worst case, and most likely scenarios to capture a range of potential outcomes. Documentation. Document the assumptions, methodologies, and rationale used for estimating and budgeting for risks to ensure transparency and accountability. Maintain accurate records of risk-related cost estimates, budget allocations, and contingency plans for reference and audit purposes. Cost overruns occur when actual project expenditure exceeds the planned budget, often due to unforeseen circumstances, changes in project scope, or inaccurate cost estimates. The impact of cost overruns on risk management can be significant and requires proactive management to mitigate adverse effects. Here's how cost overruns affect risk management. Risk exposure. Cost overruns can increase the overall risk exposure of the project by depleting contingency reserves and available funds for addressing other project risks. Project managers must assess the impact of cost overruns on the project's risk and adjust risk management strategies accordingly. Resource constraints. Budgetary constraints resulting from cost overruns may limit the resources available to implement risk response plans or mitigate other project risks. Project teams may need to reprioritize risk mitigation efforts, reallocate resources, or seek additional funding to address emerging risks effectively. Schedule delays. Cost overruns often lead to schedule delays as project teams grapple with resource shortages, funding gaps, or scope adjustments. Schedule delays can increase project risks by increasing the duration of exposure to risk events and delaying project benefits realization. Project managers must assess the impact of cost overruns on project timelines and adjust risk management strategies to mitigate schedule-related risks. Stakeholder concerns. Cost overruns can erode stakeholder confidence and trust in project management's ability to deliver on budget and schedule. Project managers must proactively communicate with stakeholders to address their concerns, provide updates on cost performance, and reassure them of ongoing risk management efforts. Lessons learned. Cost overruns provide valuable lessons learned for future risk management practices and project planning. Project managers should conduct post-mortem analyses to identify root causes of cost overruns, assess their impact on project outcomes, and identify opportunities for improving cost estimation, budgeting, and risk management processes in future projects. Various risks can impact the effectiveness of quality control efforts and compromise the overall quality of project outcomes. Common risks associated with quality control are: inadequate quality assurance processes may result in undetected defects or errors in project deliverables, leading to rework or customer dissatisfaction. Lack of stakeholder involvement in quality planning and validation activities may result in misaligned expectations or overlooked quality criteria. Resource constraints, including time, budget, or expertise, may hinder the implementation of comprehensive quality control measures, increasing the likelihood of quality-related risks. Scope changes may impact quality control processes by introducing new requirements or altering acceptance criteria, necessitating adjustments to quality assurance activities. External dependencies. Reliance on external vendors, suppliers, or subcontractors for project components may introduce quality risks related to product or service quality, delivery timelines, or contractual compliance. The following techniques can be used to identify and assess quality risks. Conducting quality risk assessments to identify potential threats to project quality and their potential impacts on project objectives. Analyzing historical data, lessons learned, and industry best practices to anticipate common quality-related risks and vulnerabilities. Engaging stakeholders, including customers and subject matter experts, to gain insights into quality expectations, preferences, and critical success factors. Utilizing techniques such as failure mode and effects analysis, FMEA, or root cause analysis, RCA, to assess the severity, likelihood, and detectability of quality risks. Integrating quality assurance measures into the risk management process enhances the overall effectiveness of risk mitigation efforts and contributes to the attainment of project objectives. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss the relationship between risk management and other project management areas. Part 3. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening and see you on our next segment.